Hey, good evening, people. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. How are you? How are you, people? I'm doing okay. Just relaxing here. Today is February, February 19th, 2025, and the time is, let me see here, looks like 7:20. Looks around that time. Yes, I'm in my living room. My monitor's right in front of me. So yeah, I like doing the talks in a dim room. It makes me feel more relaxed. I just made it brighter so you can see me better. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah, and Lavender, he's doing okay too. I had an interesting day. I actually got up early today. I was kind of like not going out for a while, but I said, let me get my butt up. So yes, we got up early. Oh, I got up early. We got ready. We had a great time outside. And I came back home and then I left early after we came home to get some shopping done. And I took a moto back. Yeah, I was running low on food, but I'm glad I did that. I feel productive. And yes, the water company took the water meter. I'm completely without water, running water. I have just a few liters of dribble water. So I really hope that they come and fix it. But outside of that, Larry seems to be okay. Well, he's stable. And yeah, everything's okay. So I want to talk about three things. I asked myself, is there something going on, something like that? And I said, yes, I think something is up. Yeah, I'm going to talk about three things. And on the surface, yeah, hello, baby boy. Yes, Mama Bear is looking at you. Yes, we want to get by? A little doggy. Hi, let me show you. Hey, you want to say hello? Say hello. You can hardly see you. You can hardly see him. Yeah, come up here. Hi. Let's see. Let's get a picture. Hi. Hello, Labby. Hello. Hi. You're a good boy. Yeah. Okay, I'll put you down. Yeah, he's gaining weight, boy. That's good though. Yeah. Oh, he has an appointment on Monday. Yeah, my vet was sick. I'm glad that he's getting better. I didn't know that he was sick. So yeah, he needs a follow up. My little dog. Yeah, he's on medication still, and he has to be greatly monitored because what he's on. Yeah. Well, anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. Hey, hello, viewer. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I think, an interesting topic to talk about, and it's always good to get feedback. I'm going to talk about three different things. I'm going to talk about what's that here? I have my little notes. What's it now? Um, let's see here. Yeah, I want to talk about I want to talk about Wendy Williams, the talk show host, and marriage. There's new marriage laws in China that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about this dream that I had. I think it was 2 days ago. And it was the same day that there was a plane crash. And no, I'm not really saying that a premonition, but I think the dream just had to do with symbolism, not about premonition. But I want to try to combine all these elements that seem to be unrelated and wonder, are they related? So I want to first mention about dream. Um, let's see. I was outside and it was daytime. I don't know, I don't remember where I was, but I remember seeing it was a man and a woman, a black woman, I think. I think both of them could have been black, but I remember there was a black woman. She looked about in her 40s. I don't know who she was, but to me, she just stood out. I just noticed her. And in the opposite direction, I had looked up and there was a plane. And the plane was it seemed big and it was coming in our direction. But then it like it kind of like went down to my left, like it was coming down real fast to the left. And I said to myself in my head, I said, "Oh my God, another plane crash." And then I remember it comes back up, and it's facing our direction. This thing might hit us. So I remember I was like trying to find a direction to run. Should I go to the left, to the right? And it seemed like any way, that I went to run, the plane seemed to go in that direction. It was like making swirls, kind of curve to the left and curve to the right. So it didn't matter what direction. And also, I saw that the front of the plane, it reminded me of like a vehicle, a car, and the like the bumper of a car, or the what do you call it, the grill of the car. It was something horizontal, metallic, and lights came out throughout the length of it. Yeah, that just stood out. But I think it made it more ominous because rather than just one light of two lights of a plane, it was like a whole grid in front of the plane, right in the front, the nose of the plane. And I was just afraid. I had anxiety in the dream. And I didn't know where to run to. I felt trapped. No matter where I would go, this plane, this potential danger was there. And I think that the dream was symbolic about life, what's happening now in the world, that it seems like no matter where you go in life, some things just seem to follow you. That's how I take it now. And with that in mind, it kind of the things that I'm thinking about with what's in the media. And I'm just watching this program. It's called China Unvarnished. I guess that's the channel name. And um, it shared information about starting February 1st of this year in China, new marriage laws. And I never saw like information like this about China. I know very little about China, even though I've met a lot of people from China, but you know, what's happening culturally or socially within uh, that particular demographics. And again, this is in China. Yeah, I really know I don't have any hands-on experience with China. I've never been there. But the law has been changed. The law about marriage changed, and it favors like with possession, like a house. Whoever bought the house, it is theirs. So even let's say a man, eh, either person, man or woman, they get married, and the partner puts the spouse's name on the deed. Okay, so it's like a joint ownership. The China says that it's not going to be that person, even though their name might be put on the deed, to be co-owner with them. Whoever who bought the house, it is theirs no matter what. And it's the commentators of this video feel that it's a law that really favors men, but actually it's really favoring those who have the financial control in the relationship, who has ownership. Yes, you have women that own property, and so it does protect her as well if she's the one that has the property. And if someone wants to marry the lady because she has money, it will also protect her. So the discussion, mostly from women, was saying, what is a woman to do? So it was interesting that their angle is, since now neither party, because it's according to ownership, and either party could own property. So who owns the property? But in particular, the women were saying that now they really have to be more mindful about how to decide who they're going to marry. And since the property isn't going to be theirs if they don't actually own it, if they're not the one that purchased it, I should say, to go by looks and genetics. And I was like, I said, wow, I never heard people from China talk this way. And these were ladies. They seemed the women that spoke, they seemed very intelligent, very, just, they seemed to have insight. And they're really saying, if this property isn't yours, you have to really know what you're getting into and be selective how you're going to choose your mate. And also goes both ways. How is the guy? How is it going to affect the? Usually, men usually have the financial strength in the relationship. So, if now she's not going to marry him because she's not going to have any property, so how is he going to attract the lady? And so, see how it goes. It's shaking up something. And I thought this was a very interesting story because something is being shaken up. It's creating something. Why is China doing this now? Why now? And only thing I can say is there is something that's being shaped. They are shaping the way people think, how people think about themselves and others. They are creating an atmosphere of potential havoc amongst people. I mean, why at this time? The world is very sensitive right now. And so, you had a marriage system. I don't know how long that marriage system's been around, but it's a very old culture, China. And so why now? Who did they have in mind when they wrote this new law that started February 1st of 2025, just this year? Who do they have in mind? When someone creates something, they have something in mind. Did they have the man in mind? Or did they have the woman in mind? Or they're just agitating both of them? And why? Okay, so that's that question there. Then now I'm going to mention out Wendy Williams. And then after I say this about Wendy Williams, about how does all these three come into play? Now, Wendy Williams, many of you know Wendy Williams. She's a talk show host. I think well, she was on the radio in New York City, and a scandal happens, and she gets kicked out of her job, and she's forced to go and work, I think, in New Jersey to get work. But where it began, well, it seems like, again, I feel badly for Wendy Williams, but I have to admit, I was not a fan of her show. I knew of her when she had the radio show, I think back in the 90s. Um, I mean, I would hear her name, um, but I didn't follow her. And um, I've seen her show, though, but it's something I really wasn't into. Um, but I feel sorry for her. Wendy, Wendy is really getting, wow, I wouldn't wish what's happening to Wendy Williams, even to your worst enemy, right? Um, yeah, she was being interviewed by TMZ, and she was at a assisted living um, housing. I think it was in Manhattan, and I don't remember how long she's been there, but she's stuck there, and she's not really allowed outside. She's been out, I think, twice in 1 month. Uh, she was at the window, and she's on the cell phone, and the cameraman is below, I guess on the floor, and he's doing a zoom in of her, so you can see her mouth move. She's actually talking to one of the gentlemen on the TMZ show, and he's talking to her. So you can hear her talk on the phone uh, with the guy that is interviewing her. And wow. Um, yeah, she has somebody. Her rights are taken away. Wendy Williams' life is being controlled by a custodian, I think they call it, a custodian, because she allegedly she was having a drinking problem, and she would be forgetful, and she doesn't know how to manage her money, which is her own business. But the court somehow got involved, and they took away Wendy Williams' rights. She has a son, and it's a big mess. It is a big mess. And I think the real thing is about money, and it's to control and take her money and make it look innocent. And that they, my concern is that they might say, oh, well, we have to watch over her. And so that might give excuse to get access to her money and spend her money on themselves. That is what my concern is. And they did mention in past shows with Wendy Williams that yeah, her money is not in her control, and it's awful. So yes, you've seen other things in the past that she did not look well, her behavior, and I really think I truly believe what is happening to Wendy Williams is that she got targeted, and they hate her. The system hates her so much. They're torturing her, and they are enjoying seeing her dismay. Now she was very, 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 very popular, very popular um, radio personality, and then she had the TV show. Um, she had a fan base. Um, Wendy Williams is who she is. Again, I was not a fan of her. I'm not into the the gossip talk shows. I'm not into that, and I'm not into people not saying very nice things just for gossip's sake. I'm not into that. So I never really followed her. But um, I think what really started this downfall of her, she said something that upsetted this. I'm not going to say the names, but and I'm sure you guys know who I'm referring to. But she made allegations, and back in those days, I think it was the 1990s, um, things, subjects like that was very taboo subject. But it seems like nowadays, many years later, um, that these allegations that she made is holding more weight. And this person that she outed um, has a lot of influence. And I think they did something to, I'm concerned if, I am concerned whether or not someone had given her something. This weird behavior, she always seemed very strong-willed, but and then she seems to be having a hard time. Um, I actually feel sorry for her. Again, I was not a fan of hers, and but something like this, and for this to possibly happen because she said something that upset somebody. Um, you're better off, I mean, feel that if you don't like what someone says to you, um, confront them and say, hey, this is off topic, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I think to harm someone physically like this, torturing them and having them lose all their money, it is horrible. Uh, she did, what was that about? Something over the internet. Maybe she has $2 to her name. This is ridiculous. Woman, I'm sure, made a lot of money. Very popular person. Um, why is this? What does this all mean? Hey, it's about people taking control, people taking authority, power over someone or group of people or even a society. And that's what's happening with all this. I think, especially with the new laws on the marriage with of China. It's about taking control. And it's about shifting the social dynamics to cause like a frenzy, uh, animosity, and anxiety in a society. And when you have that ingredient, you're going to have strife. Don't you notice now in America, it's just one strife after another? And so, like, I think the story of Wendy Williams is really just symbolic what's happening today, that your words could hurt you. Your words could cause financial and physical dismay in a person, in a household. Why? To shame. That's a biggie, I think, to shame and to maybe warn others that certain topics, certain people are off limits. And I think Wendy Williams, it all seemed to start back in I think the 1990s. She allegedly said something, and it seems like her words has come to fruition, that it wasn't just someone being malice, but something that, according to certain testimonies, seemed to convey the same thing that Wendy allegedly said about someone. So all these elements, each of these things, the story of Wendy Williams, the new marriage laws in China, and then the dream I had, it's all about that you might feel like you're trying to run away. You're trying to prevent, like in the dream that I had that I mentioned, you run to the left or right, the plane is coming down, it seems to be following you, and it's going to crash, and you don't want it to land on you. And so, like all these stories, you don't want it to touch you. This disaster that's coming ahead, and you don't know where to go, where to run to. Where do you find shelter? So it's something from outside coming into your world. With Wendy Williams, something from outside. The authorities have put her in. She's forced to live in a assisted living home. Who's paying for it? And I think it's just again a money grab too. It's a money grab, and I really think they're going overkill with Wendy Williams. You don't like what someone said, okay, confront them, but to do this is, I don't think she deserves this. Um, I actually feel sorry for her. And during the interview, I just saw the interview today by TMZ. She seemed very lucid. She uh, knew about different names of different officials, so she's current on modern, subjects, things that are happening socially. So she's living in the present, and she doesn't belong in there. Um, if they can take you, you know how many people have drinking problems? Do they have people, government or judges taking away their property or taking away their rights and force them in a to live in assisted living? There are plenty of drug addicts on the street. There are plenty of people who who live on the street who need intervention. I think it's just a taste. These things with Wendy is a taste of what can happen to you. And it seems like in history that they to really rub it in if it is a Black person in particular. I mean, the system will bother other people, but in particular, it seems to focus and be very extreme upon Black people. Yeah, when I mean, again, I was not a Wendy Williams fan at all, but I think she's being tortured, and I feel for her situation, and this could happen to anybody. Is this a taste of what can happen, what is going to happen to other Americans? Someone can say anything about you, get family members, maybe even, people coming to family members and promising them money or whatever, if they can make up a story about them to have someone committed. Ridiculous. It's so evil. And now with China, why now? Why put this? Again, China is very, very big. Oh, so they have almost like close to 2 billion people. Wow. And to put that stress and a new system upon a people, something as foundational as marriage between a man and a woman. And now they're shaking it up. And why? What does the government gain about that? What do they gain? Again, it's just, it's a very homogenous society, China. So, basically people, their phenotype, their culture, their religion is basically the same. So what are they going to do? Gender, marriage, and wiggle some new legislation that is going to shake up the whole culture of China. And it's putting unnecessary strain. Um, yeah, it's just something that you really cannot um, avoid. So where does this lead China? Well, again, it might hinder people to want to get married because they don't want the headache. And if no marriages, how's that going to influence having children? Yes, there are, artificial insemination, but it's going to, not everybody could afford that. Um, is this a means really of a type of birth control that, you know, if you're not, if marrying someone who has means does not protect you, s- they're saying why even bother to get married? The vulnerability in being a relationship when you're not the one that has the financial power, um, it's going to really rock their culture. Um, is this really a means of a type of birth control? Having people, you know, not want to even approach a relationship, and it might make people feel fearful. Um, if this happens there, is that going to happen in other countries? Isn't it potentially putting like animosity between men and women? I don't know. But again, why now? So I think it's a global, it's something that's being done to influence the world, to influence the basic foundation. And look in America, you had people fighting about what they call gender rights. Is it really about gender rights? But again, is it a way of limiting people to have children? If you're in a same-sex relationship, um, there's going to be a decrease in births, right? Is that all what it's really about? I think in part it's about that. And again, where to go, where to run to. And I think that's what it all means. These three elements: the dream about the plane crash or the going to crash. That was, I think, 2 days ago I had about marriage laws in China and Wendy Williams. All these three things uh, affects people. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And what are your thoughts about that? Do you perceive also that the world is being socially engineered to limit, to cause friction between male and female, the basic units of social life? And are you wondering where you're going to be able to run and hide from? Just asking. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've been having different dreams or knowing social events and how it's affecting you, how it's affecting your friends or your community. Let me know in the comment section below. So thank you again, and you have a great, great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever where you are. This is Spirit Journey. Uh, Doing this live stream from Rwanda. Thank you again. Peace and love and joy to you all. Bye.